But there's also some that are very, very political. Some songs that were actually banned during the Christian Inquisition and stuff like that. You couldn't play this kind of music for a time. The reason being was the mixture of cultures and the influences that went to son jarocho, right? It's not just a Mexican music. Well, actually it is, because being Mexican means that you're blended with all kinds of different culturas. So there's a lot of African influence, there's a lot of obviously Spanish influence, and also indigenous, native Mexican influence. And you'll hear that a lot, right? So a lot of the dance that we do is very European, right? Like you see the Veracruz dresses with all lace and stuff like that. So there was a time when the Mexican government had a lot of money and would put in a lot of money to different regions, different states of Mexico, where they wanted to celebrate and create an identity for the different regions and states of Mexico. So for Veracruz, that meant dressing it up with guayaberas, with big lacy dresses, right? That weren't necessarily native to the communities there. I'm very humbled by this music and this experience, because I think it's just switched my idea of what it means to be Mexicana. As a Chicana, as a very proud Chicana, it's really important for me to understand what my roots are, and understanding that Mexico isn't just one thing. And I think also for cafeteras, it's very important to be able to pass on the integrity of the music. So we've gone to Veracruz, and we've done something called the Seminario by a group called Los Folklorico. And what we've learned there, and as a dancer, I took a lot of just different zapateado classes. As a dancer and as a mujer, the relationship with the tarima in the fandango, right? And you all know what a fandango is? Yeah, so it's like a different gathering where people just come, play music, not a show, but just a gathering of people that play music and dance and just kind of hang out. The beauty behind it is the improvisation, right? Not just with the people that do the versos or the décimas, right? Just kind of walking me and just saying a lot of different statements, but also like you're just kind of like rappers, right? When they're doing hip hop and they're battling or whatever, they're kind of just creating in their head, and they're talking to each other, about what's going on. You kind of do that as a person that's dancing with tarima. You're part of the fandango. You're not there as a stage, right? And I think as folkloristas, we mimic, or we take what's natural or what's native to different regions of Mexico, and we make it really pretty for a stage, right? And we make it really great for an audience to look at. You don't do that in the fandango. That's not what the point is. The point is the convivio, right? It's a very communal kind of experience. The verso is the whole call and response thing, right? That's very African too. The way that you're very rooted and the way that you're doing a lot of the steps is not so much like the way we dance here, like very up, but the way that I've learned, and you can again correct me if I'm wrong, the way that I learned from bailadoras is you're just there. It's just about the sound, the drum that you become, right? So you become an instrument with the tarima, and the tarima is like the corazón, right, of the fandango, into the circle. And so you kind of pay homage to that, and you pay homage to the music, and you create with people, right? So there's certain rules that we learned the hard way, is that you don't dance when people are singing, right? Because you're giving them that space and to speak what they need to speak and to give their message, right? And there's certain times when you do the song. And so during the time that the verso was happening, you do something called mudanzas. And so it's a step, right? But it's a very light, something like this. So for folkloristas, it's something that's very simple, right? Something like this. You're still doing something, you're kind of decorating it, but you're not very loud, so you're not imposing. And there's some that are like a colas would be in the bamba, they're like kind of like obligados, right? You're doing the colas, and colas. Your feet are doing the same thing as the singer is doing. But then there's other ones, right, that will use the very universal café con pan. And the reason they call it that is because that's the sound of the accent of when you say it is what the accent that your feet are making. But I'll share with Kareli, a lot of this you would just learn during a fandango, right? You can just throw yourself in it and you're kind of like, okay, let's go dance, and it's kind of crazy sometimes. So you do that's where people are singing. And then when they're stopping and they're just playing, that's kind of show off your footwork. And you can either dance with a partner. There's some songs called sones de montón, and that means that only women can dance with each other. So like if something was happening, you're like, oh, I'm really want to dance. I gotta let's go dance. So you might take somebody off the setting.